Hey, Tom.
Hey, Jason.
How's it going this week, buddy?
I'm starting to catch up on sleep.
Right. It's been a wild week this week for wrestling.
Yeah, we've been pretty occupied.
Yeah. Which is why we're going to keep this intro short because we had a lot to talk about this week. We got Wrestle Kingdom.
That was early.
We went to NXT this past Sunday here in Durham.
That was later in the afternoon, and we almost broke Cookout.
We did. AEW had their first rally.
Because that's a thing now.
Yes. And then guess what? NXT UK has their first takeover on Saturday.
That's going to be a British thing.
Yep. And also, we took your nominations for end of year awards if we have time. If not, it's going to next week.
Because there's a lot of stuff to talk about, and y'all don't want to be here 2 hours.
No.
I don't.
We're done doing those kind of shows.
Nothing personal to you or the audience or anything, but yeah, I don't want to be doing this at whatever.
Yeah.
Midnight. Well, yeah, it's late our time. We record this late, so you're not sitting up at 1 o'clock in the morning going, God, I hope this drops.
Yeah, no.
If you are, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Get some rest.
Smash that subscribe button.
Yeah.
So let's just go ahead and let's do it. How's that sound?
Sounds good to me, Jason.
All right, I need you to do me a favor, though.
Well, what's that again?
I need you to ring that bell.
Sure thing.
You're listening to the Cheaters Never Pin podcast, a proud part of the Section 328 network, bringing you all the best in wrestling from WWE, New Japan, and beyond. Now, live from ringside, it's Mr. Workrate and JC.
Oh, buddies!
Bong.
We're back again. It's the Cheaters Never Pin podcast. My name is JC. Here next to me at the commentary table to the stars is my good buddy, Mr. Workrate, Tom.
Holla, holla.
What? I don't think we've had that intro before, Tom.
Well, I've been channeling my inner Teddy Long, so.
Oh, why? Have you been making tag team matches in the house, playa?
No, I've just found a giant key and I decided to wear it around my neck as I walked around the house.
Oh, it works.
That is a reference you're not going to get, are you?
No.
Oh,
I just plowed through it with, that works.
Okay, so I'll do this quickly. Wrestling history lesson.
Ooh, all right.
The early years of WCW and Ted Turner. Teddy Long was originally an NWA sanctioned referee.
Right.
And eventually they did a Danny Davis-like heel turn with Teddy to take him out of the referee position and make him a manager.
Okay.
Which he would eventually do over 20, 30 years almost. But one of the first wrestlers he managed was a wrestler that in WCW was called Norman the Lunatic, but you'd know him in WWF days as Bastion Booger. But in WCW, he was Norman the Lunatic. He was Muckin Singh, I think was technically his original wrestling name before he... I can't remember his actual given name. He's not foreign or anything like that, but whatever. Mm-hmm. So anyway, Norman the Lunatic was the character's name in WCW. And he was supposedly a wrestler who escaped from an insane asylum. So he would come down to ringside in like scrubs, basically. And Teddy Long was his manager. And the question was, how can Teddy Long control this lunatic?
See where this is going.
Teddy Long had a symbolic key which represented Norman's capture, I guess, in the insane asylum. Mm-hmm. So he would show him the key, and that would kind of make him powerless to Teddy, make him have all the flashbacks and kind of work for Teddy.
This is PTSD trigger.
Yeah.
That's what you're telling me.
So for whatever reason, Teddy Long would come down to ringside with this comically large, like, it basically the size of a key that you would hang in front of a key store. Right. That would hang down. Or a key to the city, something along those lines.
Right.
That looked like if you tried to bite into it, maybe chocolate would be inside.
Went full gimmick with the key.
But yeah. So that was the early days of Teddy Long.
There we go. You know what else?
That's your trip back to 1988.
You know what else? That's the year I was born.
What are we? 5 minutes in, we already had a Tom Gold reference.
Yeah.
There we go.
Had to get it out of the way early because we got a lot to talk about. So
Yeah.
let's start off with how the week's, well, I guess the week between podcasts, how that started. Wrestle Kingdom 13, live from the Tokyo Dome this past January 4th, Saturday morning, Friday morning? I can't even remember now.
It was Friday morning.
Friday morning.
God, I saw it live. Well,
I
live,
did not.
I was not there.
Tom,
I
that would have been
still
great.
need a passport.
Yeah. So let's just run through this because we have so much to cover tonight. So here was the card on the pre-show. We started with the gauntlet match to determine the number one contenders to the never open-weight six-man tag team titles. Togi Makabe, Toru Yano, and Raisuke Taguchi, the most violent players, defeated everybody.
Yeah, this was a fun match. Especially since I was still kind of technically waking up. I took a little 2-hour nap. Because, when you're getting up for 2 o'clock in the morning and it's like, do you really get up at 2? You have to kind of sit there and think, well, I'm not going to go to bed at like 8 and try to actually get some sleep.
Right.
So it's like 10, 10:30. Then you're sitting there going, well, if I just go to sleep, am I actually going to be able to wake up? Or is it going to be one of those fall into a deep sleep? And then I wake up at like 6 o'clock in the morning and go, oh, crap, I practically missed everything. So I decided to take a little nap, and like 1:45 hit, alarm went, I went and made my coffee, and 2 o'clock, sure enough, we had commentary start to go, and there was no New Japan Rumble, which made me sad.
Yeah,
but this was a surprisingly long match, as that will be the opposite theme going into the rest of the show.
It was the second, if you count the rest of the main card, if you count this as part of that, it was the second longest match of the show.
They actually gave them time. I mean, I guess because, whatever, they don't have to, the official card didn't start till, 3 a.m. But I mean, they wanted to get everybody in, and just overall, I mean, you know how I love Toru Yano. They had, oh God, why am I going blank right now? Blue Justice there. Yuji Nagata was a last-minute substitution for, on the Jeff Cobb, David Finlay team for, oh God, who's the stupid, strong, big dude?
Elgin.
Elgin. Elgin's hurt or in jail, whatever. So, Yuji Nagata, they said it was like his 25th third try for a month that begins with J. January 4th show, which is amazing. And he looked great.
It's good.
Like, I could still see him wrestle on a regular basis. Like he did that. He did the New Year Dash show, and he looks good. It looks like they're going to do a little bit of an angle with him, at least starting off the year. So, yeah, I enjoyed it more than I probably should have.
Nice. I still have not gone back to watch this match in particular. So, but it's a gauntlet match.
Yeah,
it is what it is. And it's for the most meaningless titles in the promotion.
I was going to say, and it's an effort to get guys on the card at least. And that was one of the angles going in was Suzuki was on the pre-show, and it just pissed him off. So he's going to be angrier than usual and grow his hair back, apparently.
Oh.
I don't know if you saw. Did you see New Year Dash?
I have not watched New Year Dash yet, no.
So his hair seems to be growing back.
Well, that's good.
Somewhat. So the kind of swirly type. No, it's not good. Swirls are cool. He's the only one that can pull that off.
No, if Cena can grow hair, then Minoru Suzuki should be allowed to grow hair. Maybe he's going to do Japanese Bumblebee. Who knows?
Just because he can doesn't mean he should.
True. Main card. Will Ospreay defeats Kota Ibushi to become the never openweight champion. This match was crazy.
Oh, man.
Will Ospreay is going to die in the ring one day. Kota Ibushi might have died in the ring.
He might have. I don't know.
He is fine. Has a concussion. Will not be on the next tour. Ibushi. The stretcher.
Maybe.
The stretcher job was apparently a sell. It was pre-planned, but he may have actually been concussed anyway. So that was convenient.
Either that, Japan has the worst EMTs ever.
Well, yeah, if you instead of clearing somebody's C-spine before you put them on a stretcher, you just gently roll them out of the ring end over end.
He was more at risk of being paralyzed, being put on that stretcher than he was actually during the match.
So, what stretcher job was worse? Elio del Paraguayo or Kota Ibushi? The groan was, I had thought of it, and I was like, I'm not going to say it. And then I was like, screw it.
That's harsh.
Yeah. Really good match. Of course, given these two guys. Was shocked to see it open the show.
Yeah. It's almost like that was a benefit to the American audience. Once again, New Japan catering to the American audience. Mm-hmm. Give them a match that will actually wake them up early on.
And only 18 minutes.
And that worked.
Yeah. This match, I felt like the time constraints aided it, right? Because, these guys could have gone longer, right? And they would have paced their match correctly. They're good enough workers, but I don't feel like I lost anything by this match not being 22 minutes, 24 minutes.
I think it was an ideal time. I wouldn't necessarily had to go any longer, but I enjoyed the length of it. Like, it didn't seem like it was too long at any time.
No. And
maybe that was going into it expecting every match on this card to be like a half an hour, but no, it was paced well. I like the new Ospreay, quote unquote new Ospreay.
Yeah. I like this. I like this tweet about all right, I changed. I'm completely paraphrasing this. I changed my style to save my life so I could keep doing this, but that only makes it more dangerous for everyone else.
Yeah.
Like, ooh. All right. I'm a big fan of heel Will Ospreay. His last run through Progress, where he was a heel, was just so great. That ended with the him and blanking on the name. I can picture him as clear as day. Anyway, fans bring the weapons match, whatever that was. Just awesome. Just great run there. I think he can pull off smug so well, and I think it's because he's British.
Right.
Jimmy Havoc. There we go. That was the name I was looking for. Three-way tag team match for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions. 6 minutes and 51 seconds. LIJ, Ibushi, and Shingo Takagi take home the titles over the Suzuki Gun team of Kanemaru and Desperado and Roppongi 3K.
I was a little surprised looking back that there was less than 7 minutes. Like, to have a less than 7 minute match, generally you're going to have at least one 50-year-old in the ring.
To have a less than 7 minute match, I'm supposed to be watching Monday Night Raw.
Yeah. And I wasn't necessarily looking forward to this match either, just because I hate three-way tags. And I'm not sure if I'm done with Roppongi 3K yet. I have no interest in the Suzuki Gun team. And, I like Bushi and Takagi, but...
Yeah, this whole match was kind of, I think I mentioned this last week, just kind of a meh for me to begin with. So
my main thing was being fascinated with Bushi because he came to the ring like in this outfit, it was like the mask had like, I don't know, it was like half dragon, half something else. It looked completely cool, and he looked like he was going for the mafia style. Like, I mean, he looked better in a suit, dare I say, than Naito did.
Wow, Tom, come on, buddy.
And then he turns around and like gets ready to wrestle, and he's wrestling in his pants and like the LIJ t-shirt. It's like, huh?
How did what? Yeah,
you look so good going to the ring, and then now it looks like you just showed up for training. But he always loses the shirt like midway through the match anyway. But
true. This match was a whatever. Would have been great if they would have had 4 or 5 more minutes.
Would have been great had it been
tell a story, but
just two teams.
Yeah, but not a bad match.
No, it was there.
Yeah. Zack Sabre Jr. becomes the new British heavyweight champion, defeating Tomohiro Ishii. Suzuki-gun picking up their first dub of the evening.
Third title change in 3 matches.
Right.
I smell a theme.
Right. This match went on 11 minutes and 37 seconds. This match I also thought was timed properly. Could have had a couple more minutes, but I know we were talking about the kind of style clash of the two. Holy crap, it worked. And the story you tell is that Sabre submits Ishii. Awesome.
Yeah, I paid less attention to this match just because, I don't know. I was interested in the style clash, but I really was not interested in watching it.
Yeah.
So that's when I made peanut butter sandwiches for my kids' lunch the next morning.
I think the biggest thing to note out of this is clearly, and I realize Rev Pro has more to say about the outcome of this match than New Japan, given the fact that it's their title. But I think New Japan has big things planned for Sabre this year, right? Especially, and we'll get to AEW, but everybody already knows they lost Omega and the Bucks and Adam Page and all of the main Western stars they have are gone. Jericho gone. I gotta line up somebody.
Well, do we know that Kenny's left?
Kenny did say to Tokyo Sports he is taking a break from New Japan.
But now we're starting to hear that, Kenny's just working Tokyo Sports.
Well, it's similar to what he said 2 years ago, right? I mean, the interview reads almost exactly the same, and we know what happened there. But I feel that the circumstances surrounding everything are very, very different this time.
The shoot has been worked into a shoot that has been worked and is now a shoot.
Yeah. Like, Russo can't count the swears, bro.
But, I'm not necessarily counting on the other people that you mentioned are gone, basically. Mm-hmm. I'm not counting on anything for Kenny because, again, is Kenny still technically under contract for X period of time?
As far as I know, he was on one of those annual normal deals that kind of ran through New Year Dash or Tokyo Dome, whatever, either way, which are also no more. As we've seen with the signings New Japan has made this week, that they are slowly trying to phase out those 1-year deals.
Yeah, with good reason. I mean,
because let's see, it was Chase Owens, Rocky Romero, and Juice Robinson have all announced that they've signed multi-year deals with New Japan, which is very odd for New Japan.
I didn't know Chase did. I saw Juice did, and I saw that Rocky had. Yep. But I did not see Chase did, and I'm very happy for him because I am a Chase Owens fan. So
me too. I think it'll be with kind of the log jam of Western stars ahead of him. I think it's a good thing. He'll be able to spread his wings a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, he did a lot of good work on the undercard and eating pins here and there, but you could see that they were kind of angling him for some potential, at least, along the way. And
I mean,
him and
you push Bonesoldier, you can push Chase Owens.
yeah. But I think he has the ability, he has the work ability at least. But I mean, he's in a position now where I think he can potentially, not get to like a Kenny level at this point yet, but work his way into at least a good visible. He could take that Hangman Page kind of position at this point, I think.
Yeah,
where you're kind of at the mid level, and then have the opportunity later on to potentially get higher than that. But
right. Los Ingobernables picks up another tag title, the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Titles, defeating the Guerrillas of Destiny, who were the champs, and the Young Bucks in another 3-way tag match.
10 minutes.
Yeah, and 16 seconds.
I'm rounding.
Whatever.
Sorry.
I've never cared about the heavyweight tag titles in New Japan. I think it's the most boring division in the entire promotion. So I have not really paid attention to this match. I didn't really watch it, I'm going to be honest.
I like Sonata and Evil. I think they're at a point right now with New Japan that they want to push them, but I don't think there's necessarily an opening for them just yet. Mm-hmm. And there may be a little bit further on down the line, but I think it's kind of a holding pattern pretty much that, well, we want to make them, that we want to see them as stars, and we think that we can eventually push them, but we don't have a spot for them yet, and we don't want to job them out necessarily at the high level. So let's put these belts on them and occupy them for a period of time and then set them on their way.
Right.
Because they did that. They did. Evil had that match with Jericho, so that was his kind of high profile thing. And Sonata's had a match here and there, but
and LIJ's had kind of a low year this year.
Yeah.
So time to kind of rebuild that, especially as, rebuild them, make them strong while we kind of retool Bullet Club.
Yeah, and that's
somebody's got to move
merch.
merch
Happened in this card.
Yeah,
and LIJ does, man.
Oh yeah. Juice Robinson is the new United States champion after defeating Cody in 9 minutes.
Solidly too. This wasn't a Juice kind of pulls it out of nowhere thing.
No. This was a very WWE match. Like, you had the Brandy interference, and her getting tossed, and all the other. I didn't feel very New Japan.
And that's Cody.
Yeah, for sure.
And no offense to Cody, I love the guy to death, and he's making bank everywhere, and he's pretty much made every right decision he possibly could have since he's left the WWE.
Right.
But him and New Japan were never really a fit.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like, he wrestles a particular style, and it's a fine style. And I think initially he thought maybe he was going to see if he could wrestle that New Japan style. Like, when his first match against Juice, when 2 years ago at Wrestle Kingdom.
Yep.
And we sat there and we watched that match. We're just like,
okay. Well, that was fine.
And it never got past fine.
Yeah.
And
he's not Tai Chi, so like I'm not saying he was terrible, but
he never got to that point where he drove storylines and kind of brought that sports entertainment aspect to it. The whole Bullet Club splitting Elite feud with Kenny, the whole thing. He brought that to it. So it's not like he was wasted money in New Japan. New Japan got what they paid
for sure.
But at the same time, from a fan standpoint, you look back at it, you're just like, oh, well, the angles are great, but did we ever really get a great match out of it? And again, this isn't like Cody's a bad wrestler.
No, Cody's great. You look at his match against Nick Aldis at All In. Phenomenal.
Yeah. It just didn't fit into, and that may have been Cody's thing where, he took the money in the contract that he did initially with New Japan and just was like, I'm going to wrestle the matches that I do. And he got hurt too, so that doesn't necessarily help either. But I don't know. It just never really clicked all the way. And I think Cody in this match, he worked it out with Juice, and I think he wanted to do the right thing and put Juice over hard. And this wasn't, like I said, this wasn't just, a back and forth and Juice manages to squeeze it out. Pun not intended. But no, it was with authority. Juice turns around and gives him I can never remember his finisher name.
Pulp Friction.
Yeah. So gives him the Pulp Friction the first time, and then just kind of like thinks about it for a little bit and it's like, nah, I'm going to do it again. And you're almost waited for this is going to potentially cost him or whatever, or we're going to build this and he's going to break out of it. Then we're going to switch some near falls, and nope, nailed it the second time, and that was it.
Okay. Yep.
Let's go home.
Mm-hmm. Taj Ishimori is the new junior heavyweight champion against a departing Kushida, who is rumored to be WWE bound in 11 minutes. That's right, folks. Kushida got 11 minutes at the Tokyo Dome.
He's not departing. He's retiring from New Japan. This is the terminology that was used.
Yeah. Semantics.
When everyone cried.
Yeah, that was weird, right? I'd rather talk about that than the match.
Yeah. So, Kushida lost. So, now...
and it was fine.
Yeah.
He's Marty McFly. Moving on.
Yeah. So, he has this, press conference. And and that was... a couple of days. That was after New Year Dash too. That was the following day.
Yeah, I want to say the press. It was Sunday or Monday.
Yeah,
I think it was Sunday.
Because New Japan made a general press announcement type thing, and they mentioned Iizuka's retiring, which I don't know who's going to get the big metal giant hand passed down to them. And they mentioned a couple other things, and one of the things was Kushida was not coming back. His contract ends January 31st, and he was not renewing his contract. That he was quote unquote retiring from New Japan.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kushida had his press conference type thing and talked about it, and apparently Tanahashi was in the back of the press conference and starts asking him questions, and Kushida breaks down, and just the whole
so expect to see Kushida ringside at the Barclays Center the Friday night before WrestleMania. Just go ahead and book it.
Now, I'm not familiar with Kushida because I know he's worked Ring of Honor.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a champion in Ring of Honor. He was TV champion with Ring of Honor,
yes,
right?
Correct.
Okay. Can he cut promos in English?
I honestly have no idea.
Okay. Now, I wasn't sure because, you've seen more Ring of Honor than I have.
I honestly can't remember. So that was a while ago. That's been a couple of years.
Now, I wasn't sure if, you say the rumor is WWE, which, that's what we always. I know his announcement was pretty much that he was going overseas to wrestle. Didn't specifically mention WWE.
Mm-hmm. I know multiple of the main rumor and innuendo mongers who honestly do have some sources inside these companies. Many of them have said he's NXT bound. So,
oh yeah, I can see him in NXT. I just assumed main roster, and I'm like, I can't see him on the main roster.
No, there's no spot for him right now. Where are they going to put him? 205 Live, and that's such a waste.
He could be Akira Tozawa, and two of them.
Oh, great! He'd be wasting his career in 205. Not that 205 Live is a bad place to be. Do not get me wrong. That show is great, but if they put him,
my thing was, I mean,
visibility.
He is a guy who has a past in Ring of Honor, and AEW is there,
right?
There is the history with, they've got that kind of New Japan connection, even though they're not going to be affiliated with New Japan, at least not yet.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out. We'll find out in a couple weeks, I guess. 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever it is, to the 31st. Oh man, we're already half an hour into this show. Oh boy. Jay White defeats Okada in 14 minutes.
Rainmaker Okada.
Yeah, shows up in the shorts,
which got probably the biggest pop of the night.
I love too that the way his not jacket, his robe was built. It looked like he was wearing the pants.
It did.
But there were no balloons. We were just shorts. We got the full Rainmaker quick zoom out.
He's great. Back full blonde. There's no red hair in there anymore.
Thank God. That was just weird.
It was. And because I didn't know what was going. Because it's like,
we don't need emo Okada running around. It's just weird.
Because I thought at first, it's like, all right, well, you're kind of going with this, like, Okada's having a breakdown type thing, which I was kind of into. Like, all right, because, he loses the match to Kenny, he loses the title.
Yeah.
And then he starts to struggle. It's like, all right, well, this seems like a very Japanese angle. Like, okay, well, I'm struggling. I'm not the person I used to be. Now I'm falling into this deep depression.
Like, yeah.
Who am I? And then it's just the random stuff. Like, I'm going to bring a balloon to ringside and change my hair color. It's like he just decided to have the most gentle midlife crisis ever.
Yeah. Jay White, clearly in line to be the next Gaijin star.
Yeah.
Is getting ready to be pushed to the moon, folks. Get ready for the year of the Switchblade. Oh, boy.
It's like he literally took Kenny Omega's locker in the New Japan locker room.
Yeah. I have a... Where's the tweet? Where's the tweet here? Then we got from our buddy Chris. If 2019 is Jay White's year, I'm really uninterested in New Japan. Yeah. I'm not going to disagree with that. I like Jay White, don't get me wrong. I just don't want to see him on top of New Japan.
He's playing with that Roman Reigns line at this point. Like,
yeah.
Don't do it, man.
That's one. He is one guy though that I think would fit so well in WWE.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And that's the weird thing too. It's like, okay, well,
yeah.
You're in the wrong place. Of all the people to be in the wrong place.
Yeah. Tetsuya Naito is the new IWGP Intercontinental Champion, defeating Chris Jericho in a no DQ match in 22 minutes.
I'm glad Chris is done here because every match that, I mean, I don't know if it was part of the gimmick or whatever, but I don't know if he was channeling his inner Terry Funk or what, but every match that Jericho was in had to be this no disqualification, trying to spill blood, every weapon possible, crazy old man type thing.
Gotta get color to make the money, Chris.
We haven't heard that one in a while.
No.
Thank God. But
Yeah, no, I agree wholeheartedly. Like, and I think part of that's due to, I mean, not that Chris can't go, but he's obviously not the younger age he is, and I think given that, I don't know that he could be at the correct strong style level to compete at a high level. So that I think they use that as a crutch to kind of book him out of that. Now he can go to any other promotion in the world, right? He can come back to WWE, be man on top right away with his work rate without the gimmick.
Yeah.
I think that was their way out of this.
To kind of protect his legacy for somebody who wrestled in New Japan 25 years ago. And what a shock, he does not wrestle the same way he does 25 years later. Although for some reason in New Japan, he can still hit the lion salt. The lion salt that was over 123 in WWE. He hits it,
but works like
every
a GD
time.
charm in New Japan.
It's like in Japan, it's two things are guaranteed in Japan. The tables are stronger and Jericho's hitting the lion salt.
Yep.
Unless, of course, Naito's head goes through it.
Oof.
So there's a spot in this match where they're outside and all the plunder and everything like that. And Jericho grabs Naito and decides to deliver a pile driver on a table, which, you know, it's a table spot. But dear Lord, he drops him straight. I mean, if you watch pile drivers, you know, especially a pile driver on like the floor or any non-ring.
Oh no.
You can see how you want to kind of go that extra mile to protect the person. No, not Naito.
Nope. Spike his head on the table as hard as humanly possible.
Left a Naito-sized dent in the table. And again, Japanese tables, like 10 times harder than American tables.
When you watch the spot slower, you can tell that Naito had full control, had his hands up, he was, you know, doing his handstand and all. But, boy, in full speed, and the moment, it was like, and Naito's going to have neck surgery tomorrow.
Steve Austin looked at that and was like, brother.
Oh, damn. That's a rough spot. Swig a beer for the Naito man. Sorry.
Maybe I should stick to the Austin one.
God damn. Main event. Hiroshi Tanahashi becomes the IWGP Heavyweight Champion in the Tokyo Dome for an inordinate number of times. It was actually the 8th time he has become the IWGP Heavyweight Champion, defeating Kenny Omega. 39 minutes and 14 seconds. I would still pay $100 to watch a John Cena Hiroshi Tanahashi match on pay-per-view. Don't mock him. That's like Mayweather Pacquiao like level.
We'll get in Saudi Arabia.
All right.
Blood Money 3.
Yeah. God, but Tanahashi though, he's amazing.
Speaking of table spots.
Oh God, the high fly flow into the table, whiffing, not hitting Jericho or Omega, and just, oh God.
So I'm watching that, and I see the table get set up, and I'm going, I know, well, obviously one of two things can happen. Either Omega stays, and you get arguably the safer spot, or Omega moves, and Tanahashi dies.
It's the Tokyo Dome. We expect death.
But the thing is, like, so whatever table they chose to use was not a traditional Japanese table.
No, it was a fully...
It was a gimmick table.
Plywood table, yeah, or particle board table.
But then at the same time, you're like, oh God, thank God it wasn't one of those Japanese tables that, would actually like stop him.
Oh God.
Then, half a second later you go, but wait, that just means he takes the full brunt of impact onto the floor.
Right. I mean, table helps a little bit.
Yeah, because, if I land on a piece of plywood and cardboard from
God, it's sending chills
10 feet in the air.
It's sending chills up my spine just thinking about it. So that was Wrestle Kingdom. You know what else sent chills up my spine?
What's that, JC?
Being in the Durham Armory watching NXT on Sunday.
It wasn't cold in there at all.
No. But it was the excitement. It was the energy in the room, Tom.
Oh, right. Those kind of chills. Got it.
Because it definitely was not cold. I think it was 90 degrees. I just want to start there. Being in the Durham Armory with 400 of your closest wrestling friends, sweating your balls off, watching wrestling, the greatest wrestling watching experience I've had in my life.
My wife said, you can take me to that anytime.
Hey.
And she is not a wrestling fan necessarily. She, she'll see something every once in a while. But,
right.
If like SmackDown rolls into town or anything like that, she's like, you guys can go. It's fine.
Yeah. I don't want to go too in depth on this because we are already super tight on time here. That was over, not even counting just the experience of being there. That was the best wrestling show I think I've ever seen with my own two eyes in person.
Yeah. Work in general was strong all across the board.
There was not one match on the card where I was like, that was stupid.
Well, there was one, but...
Okay, are you going to talk about the Kona Reeves other guy match?
No.
Oh
I'm going to talk about you being pissed off about Rhea Ripley.
All right, let's get this out of the way, and then we'll go into takeover talk because that's a good.
Okay.
That's a good. Because I somehow managed to get heat from 400 people in a building, which is impressive. I did get the entire armory to boo me. I'm pretty sure you heard it too. This is impressive. I was very happy with myself. I was like, I can get over at NXT. I thought I was at Full Sail. When you have a champion who is preparing to defend her title on a pay-per-view 6 days from now, you do not have her get beaten in a house show against someone who's not even in the same brand. It's dumb. It's dumb booking, Hunter. That's all. That's all I have to say. It's nothing to do with the fact that I don't even like Bianca Belair. Like, I get nothing from her as a character. She is athletic and she can work. I can appreciate that. I get zero from her and have zero wish to ever see her on NXT TV or in person again. Do not beat a champion like that for a title that Bianca Belair will never challenge for.
She didn't wear the belt to the ring, correct?
Yeah, she did.
She did?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is why I have so many issues with it. Yeah, she had the belt with her. Because they had
announce it as a non-title match then.
Yeah, because she cut a promo on the way to the ring that they put on WWE UK's Twitter about the match against Toni Storm. Like, into a cell phone as she's, walking to the ring. Are you kidding me? It just made me so angry. The rest of the show was fine. But let's talk about TakeOver, and then we'll go into AEW because we've buried the lead here.
Okay.
Because I know Tom has watched every episode of NXT UK.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. So here's the card. Rhea Ripley defends her UK Women's Championship against Toni Storm. I'm pretty sure Toni Storm gets the win here because she is the Mae Young Classic champion.
She should, but
now if the rumors are true that she is taking a break from wrestling, who knows? I think we'll learn more about that after this and then the subsequent tapings. But I tend to believe Tony's going to win.
I agree with you.
Cool.
I mean, but that would be my thought necessarily. But at the same time, I know of the controversy around her and that type of thing.
I don't want to phrase it that way. I wouldn't even say it's a controversy around her because she had private images stolen from her and placed on the internet. I don't think that.
No, I wasn't saying she did anything wrong by any means.
Right. Oh, no. I know. I just wouldn't phrase it like that. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, There could have been a better way to phrase it, but I don't know, and we're running low on time. So.
Yeah. The NXT UK Tag Team Championship title tournament concludes. Mustache Mountain, which is Trent Seven and Tyler Bate, take on the Grizzled Young Vets of Zach Gibson and James Drake. God, I mean, I think the Grizzled Young Vets win here because we need a heel champion somewhere on this brand.
Like, the Mustache Mountain thing would be too obvious, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I think so. But, and I mean, and Drake and Gibson have been great. Zach Gibson is, I hate him. I hate him so much because of the way he just gets all the heat from me. Because when he comes out and he starts cutting his promos, soon to be the number one this and that, and no, shut up. Get your ass kicked. So I want him to win. Pete Dunne defends the UK Championship against Joe Coffey. I mean, I can see making a case for Coffey to win, but might as well give it to Dunne and find maybe a stronger challenger somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah, that was my main thing. It's like I could see them eventually taking the belt off of Dunne, but
I don't know that Coffey's the right guy to do it with.
No.
I think you build up Eddie Dennis in the next match that he has against Dave Mastiff. I think, by the way, Eddie Dennis beats Dave Mastiff in a no DQ match because Eddie Dennis and Pete Dunne is a match I would love to see.
Okay.
Yes. And then added this week from NXT UK TV, Travis Banks takes on Jordan Devlin. And I'm pretty sure you give Travis Banks the win here because I'm pretty sure that's how the show's going to start. So that's it. That's NXT UK Takeover Blackpool. I'm excited. You know me. You know me. I love British wrestling. So
yeah, I think this is a big card for them just because the NXT UK brand just really hasn't taken off necessarily. I mean, I have not been inspired to watch it, but then again, I'm more of a lackadaisical fan than most. Yeah, that's why I have a podcast. But
well, part of it too. I mean, it's geared to be a show for the UK. Like they air it at, not that it doesn't rerun on whatever day. You just can't watch it on demand, but it's it airs on the live stream at 3:00 our time.
Right. But I mean, it's exactly. It's meant for other people. These are wrestlers that are familiar to British fans, or not necessarily familiar to us over here. Right. I mean, we've been introduced to certain wrestlers from that brand, but in general, like the average person doesn't necessarily know who Joe Coffey is. So
he's a piece of crap.
They're going into this. This is an important takeover because as an average fan, or I'll say a little bit more than average fan, you're going to see that NXT TakeOver brand and go, well, it's going to be good because all NXT TakeOvers are good. So this is the major card for people that are just going to get introduced to NXT UK.
Yeah.
And go into it and be like, oh, okay, well, these are your champions. This is the introduction. I mean, we had the UK tournament and all that type of thing, but this, I think, is really the introduction to NXT UK.
For sure.
And if they have an excellent show and people not necessarily even watching it live, but I mean, if they have a very good show, people go, oh, well, maybe I should see that on demand, later on down the line.
You should.
It's going to end up increasing views here and there.
Yep. For sure. It airs, I think, 2:00 on Saturday here Eastern time. So watch it live or go back and watch it. There is no college football, so you have no excuse.
How about the Pro Bowlers tour? That was always a Saturday afternoon thing.
Yeah. Two things before we get...
Yeah.
Two things before
Shut up,
we...
Tom.
Yeah, pretty much. We're at 50 minutes. Two things before we get into the AEW talk. One, never leave your tweet deck stream open with #Raw running in a panel while you're trying to do a podcast, because it is disturbingly distracting. Just, I wouldn't search it either.
Spoilers.
Yeah, don't look it up. It's fine on Monday nights. The rest of the time, it's questionable family content. Number two, Tom, tell the people how they can buy Amazon stuff. We don't have time for funny ad reads, so.
Go to cheatersneverpin.com, click on the Amazon.com link, shop on Amazon as you normally would, buy it as you normally would, and we'll get a few cents out of your purchase.
There we go. We'll get back to funny long ad reads next week.
I did 17 minutes last week, and I almost threw one in on the Cheaters Never Win podcast. So
we were trying.
Keep this one short.
Don't think the whole time we were standing there, I wasn't thinking of how can we work an Amazon ad read into this. You just ruined their entire show.
We ruined it anyway.
That's true. At least I did. AEW is a real thing. Tuesday afternoon outside TIAA Bank Field in Jacksonville. They held their Double or Nothing rally. Here are the news bulletin points coming out of it that I will run down quickly. Billy Gunn is the first backstage producer for AEW.
Sure.
SoCal Uncensored was confirmed. They were the first talent to actually come out. They are part of AEW. Cody said the big thing is they're going to change the wrestling economy and wrestlers will be paid fairly. Brandy Rhodes would later add that men and women would be paid equally, but she actually clarified a bit today that not, everyone will be paid proportionally to their, spot in the card, basically, but it won't be, because you're a woman, you're getting less than the man that would be in a comparable position.
Basically, let's not get crazy, but yeah, it's not like everyone's getting the same paycheck.
Right, yeah.
A main eventer is going to get paid like a main eventer, whether they're a man or a woman.
Exactly.
That's what she's trying to say.
Yep.
Not
your champion, whether it be male or female, is probably they're making the same salaries. Whoever's the bottom of the card, same salary. Let's see what else here. They have signed I don't know if they've signed a deal or what it is, or have a working agreement with SEMA and the Strong Hearts and OWE from China, Oriental Wrestling Entertainment, which if you haven't watched anything from them, they do have their first show they ever did is on Twitch, and I think they've got a highlight reel on YouTube. It is an incredibly interesting style of wrestling, given the fact that until this started, there was really no pro wrestling in China. So SEMA leaves Dragon Gate with a bunch of guys, goes to China to start a promotion, and since no one really knows what it is, he has to get a bunch of Shaolin monks and gymnasts and has to train them to be pro wrestlers. So it is wild and athletic and amazing, and I think it'll have a great place in AEW. Double or Nothing, the actual show, will take place May 25th from the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas. That is Memorial Day weekend here in the United States. There will also be a show in Jacksonville. That will be AEW's second show. No details on that yet. MJF is signed because, damn it, we need heels somewhere in this group. Dr. Britt Baker also came out. She confirmed that she is signed. Hangman Page comes out, says he's going to be the first champion, and then Pac comes out and says, "Nah, bruh, that's me." He didn't say that, but Pac is in. Show gets ready to end, and out comes Chris Jericho, who is all in with All Elite Wrestling. This was it was eventful and not eventful. I think the two most shocking things, Pac and Jericho.
right.
I mean, everything else we knew about. We knew about SoCal Uncensored and Britt Baker going into this. It was just confirmed here. And a lot of, the equal pay stuff and the stuff Tony Khan said after about, making sure we can get the guys, eventually everyone on the roster to be full-time and provide health care. I think, anyone who knows Cody and the Bucks probably knew that would be something that would be coming down the line. But,
Yeah.
I mean, it was exciting. Joey Janela. Joey
as well.
Janela and Penelope Ford. That's right. They're the ones that attacked MJF. I'm excited. I don't know. Before this, I was like, it'll be cool. Like, it'll be nice to have another alternative product. But I don't know. I feel like watching the entire rally, I felt like it was the beginning of something very unique and special. I don't know. I just it gave me the warm and fuzzies, man.
I think the opportunity is there. Again, I don't think they necessarily have the egos that, that plagued WCW, that never really allowed TNA to get to the point where it needed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And, 2 years from now, that could change a lot.
Right.
But
there's a lot of money getting ready to be involved in this, and money changes people.
Yeah. But as it stands right now, they're doing it the smart way. They're staying at a particular level. I mean, Jericho mentioned himself. He's not here for the money. He already has the money. That he just wants to be part of something special.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, it works both ways for them. It's Jericho gets to make something a high profile thing that wasn't necessarily going to be high profile, but I mean, that's the name. There weren't too many names that AEW could have gotten to get themselves the exposure that signing Chris Jericho did.
No.
And the thing is, like, I mean, again, TNA did it too when they started signing former WWE personalities, and you could kind of roll into that and go, well, they're just doing the same thing with Jericho, who's 48 or whatever age Jericho is, who knows. But Jericho is not there to basically take over the whole damn show and be everything that the show is going to be built upon. Jericho is there pretty much to wrestle a couple of times, to plug his crews, and to probably help to pass along to the younger generation something that they'll actually be able to work with. Yep. Like, Jericho went through, I mean, he was a young wrestler that went through WCW, that, wrestled Smoky Mountain before that, and, in Calgary, where he didn't have, health insurance or benefits or anything like that, making the scattered paychecks here and there. And he knows what it's like for a 25, 24, 23-year-old wrestler that's working their way through to be an independent contractor and not, have to deal with the things the wrestlers have to deal with. The impression seems to be that Cody and this group wants to treat it differently. They want to treat it like an actual occupation and give these people health care and give these people, they're wrestling as a career. It should be treated like a career. They should be able to retire, later on down the line, all that type of thing. Like, treat it like an actual job instead of being the constant independent contractors that wrestlers have been their entire lives.
Yep. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, and Jericho can kind of give back onto this by, sharing his name with it and building this up and allowing this promotion that would probably have a little bit more difficulty getting that exposure, giving it more exposure, and giving it another leg to stand on.
Yeah, I think it's also important. And you kind of lightly touched on this. Jericho's not there to make money. He's also not there to be the top star. He will be a top star because of his name. He will not be the top star, and neither will Cody or the Young Bucks be the top star in this promotion. Because if you notice, no one mentioned the title but Adam Page and Pac.
Right.
So I think that says a lot too about kind of where their heads at booking wise. Again, we're a long way away from an actual show,
and these guys are going to wrestle. You're not going to go to an AEW show. You're not going to go to Double or Nothing and not have Cody and the Bucks wrestle.
Yeah.
They're going to wrestle,
but they're not going to be the spotlight. Is there? Do I feel a chance probably where there is a Young Bucks feud where Matt feuds Nick for the title? Probably at some point, right? I mean, you have to book that, and it would be cool. And I think it would create a lot of buzz, and people would get really behind it. But I mean, is that where they want to start? With those guys holding the title? No, I think they realize that's a bad look too. So AEW is real. It's coming May 25th, MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas. Double or Nothing. Anything else this week? It's a lot.
There's plenty more stuff this week, but
oh god, we don't have time.
We can save it for next week.
Yes, your awards, our 2018 year-end awards, we will save for next week. So continue to get us your categories you want to nominate. We have quite a few entries, actually. So if next week's a slow news week, that'd be good. We got plenty of time to fill it with.
Just have an award show and just completely ignore everything.
That'd be fun. Do you want a preview of some of the categories?
I saw some of the ones that recently got shared. And why don't you share them?
All right, I'll give you a couple. The Please Just Stop It Award with nominees such as Nia Facebreaker Jax, Ronda Rousey, and Bobby Lashley. Let's see, Prop of the Year, which I thought was a good one. And then the creepiest one, and I have to call this out because it's from my mother, and it just weirds me out that she tweeted this to us. The Best Junk in the Trunks category. Oh, boy. I don't even know.
But it's the trunk. Like, see, the first time I kind of scanned that, I just saw Best Junk.
Couldn't you call it Best Trunk in the Trunks?
Yeah, see, that's a completely different thing. If we're talking junk in the trunk, then we're talking about something completely different than if you're talking about the trunk in the trunks.
We're talking about the back instead of the front.
Yeah.
Okay, you're right. But it is Best Junk in the Trunks, is how it's written. So it means exactly what we think it means.
Yeah, I guess it does.
Oh, God. Thanks, Mother. Let's get out of here, Tom. Tell the people where they can find you on the internet.
Go to the Twitter machine at Mr. Workrate, at MR Workrate. Don't go anywhere else, because... Oh, you can friend me back on PlayStation now.
Hey!
That situation got taken care of.
There you go. You can find me on the internet at JCBobbitt, JCBOBBITT on Twitter or wherever finer social media is purveyed. You can find the show on Twitter at CheatersMVRPin. You can find us on Instagram at CheatersNeverPin. And you can also like us on Facebook. Give us a big blue thumbs up there and show us how much you like us. We're available on Roku, so you can listen to the podcast in the finest room in your house. And you can also get your daily news fix from wrestling every day on your Alexa-enabled devices. Just add the Cheaters Never Pin update skill to your device, and we'll be there in your mornings. Every morning. There I am. Talking like this in my full radio voice. Because I don't know how to control it.
It could be worse. It could be me and my NPR voice.
That was fun. I think we need that. It's a good dichotomy, though, right? Need a little bit of both of us.
Yeah.
I'm full top 40, and Tom's sipping his coffee. So next week we'll be back with your awards and our awards and whatever else happens. We're on the road to the Royal Rumble, which means we're on the road to WrestleMania. It's getting real. Here we go again.
The ultimate thrill ride.
As we begin the year 3 journey for this show.
Man.
Yeah, year 1, we started with the Rumble. So here we go. Can you believe it? I thought about that the other day. I was like, man, it doesn't even feel like we've been doing this for 3 years. But we have.
Well, technically 2 years worth. This would be our 3rd year of doing it.
Right. But we're hitting our... Anyway, yes, we've done this for 2 full years.
This would be our 25th month.
Right. So he says, as my
Season
pop
3.
Filters. Yeah.
Season
3 of the Cheaters Never Pin podcast. Now giving you bonus points.
Getting ready to jump the shark.
Yes. We're starting Season 3 with bonus XP. To reward all our listeners. All right, I don't know where this is going. We'll catch you next week with awards and whatever the hell else happens. So, I'm JC.
I'm Tom.
And we'll catch you on the flip side.